minimum salary to double it. It's currently $750,000. They want to double the minimum salary for a Major League Baseball player from $750,000 to $1.5 million. $1.5 million. If you are a UFC fighter and you hear that a baseball player is going to make $1.5 million guaranteed minimum, a minimum, that's going to make you sick. You're going to go, wait, what? Like, I'm fighting for 10-10. Like, I'm fighting for 5-5. Like, the UFC is supposed to be the highest level of fighting, and a baseball player, some guy who rides the pine, is going to make $1.5 million to be a baseball player. People are going to freak out at that. They're going to absolutely lose their mind if that happens. I don't hate it. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I do think the competitive integrity tax is something I have asked for a long time with baseball players for baseball. If you make this much money and you own a team, it shouldn't be a profit center. Owning a Major League Baseball team should be a luxury item, should be a toy, should be something that you're having fun with. You shouldn't be sitting there and penny pinching and going, I can't really get my payroll over $90 million. Again, under the MLBPA, their new offer, the minimum would be $240 million a year in revenue. And your payroll can't be $90 million when you're making $240 million. Get out of here. That's ridiculous. So I get it, operating costs and taxes and everything else. I get that. But this should not be about putting it into the pocket of owners. This should be about putting it back into the product. So I love the idea of a competitive tax that makes a salary floor for Major League Baseball. Because again, watching teams that are competitive this year, watching teams that are winning this year, and you're looking at their salaries, 19th, 26th, 28th, 29th in Major League Baseball, and yet they are near the top or at the top of their divisions at the moment. Those fans of the A's, Rays, and Guardians, and I know there's not gigantic fan bases, but they're going, you know what? We're not going to be able to sustain this because we know what's coming. The Mariners will make a move. They'll trade for a bat. There'll be something coming up here with the Tigers, although they're probably DOA right now with the way they're playing. But some big market team's going to come in and make a splash, and our owner won't do that, right? Tiger fans are sitting there going, are they going to trade Skubal? Like, you don't trade Skubal. You don't trade that guy, but it looks like the Tigers will because they can't win. They can't beat anybody right now. One of the worst teams in baseball. Yet they have an unbelievable pitcher who currently is hurt. Once he comes back, you're going to trade Skubal? You can't trade Skubal. But that's what's right now in the air, given how poorly the Tigers are pitching and given the fact that Skubal is going to be asking for a ton of money coming up in the offseason. So it's all linked, right? Winning, revenue generation, the strike, the lockout, which is all going to happen. Unfortunately, I still think we're going to miss time next year in 2027 for Major League Baseball. And it's going to spit in the face of all the fans that have given time and energy to the sport. And we look at it going, you know what? Baseball has improved. Baseball is a better product today than it was 3 years ago. But they're going to throw out the golden goose over money, dollars, contracts, minimums. It's going to be a public fight between now until next season. And I hope they get a deal done. And I hope that cooler heads prevail. But smart money, smart leadership, and smart roster building can still win. And the Brewers have been they're middle of the pack. They're not down by the bottom. They're middle of the pack. They're 19th in payroll. But they have shown that you can really do it without spending big amounts of money. You can be very competitive and you can win baseball games. You give that franchise more money, more abilities to sign big-time players. Let's go. It would be unbelievable. All right, let's pause the baseball conversation. I have no idea where he is. This is a backdrop I've never seen before. I'm excited. All right, my friend, this is new. Where are you today? How are you?
Pretty boring backdrop. I'm still in Costa Rica. However, the minute we get off this, I need to get straight to the airport and I'll be pushing to get there on time. But I'm heading to Major League Pickleball in Columbus, Ohio to go cheer on my New Jersey Fives.
Who are the New Jersey Fives?
It's Gary V's team that he's got in the MLP. And as part of the V Friends thing and whatnot, I've got some courtside tickets for a couple of days. So if there's anyone there in Columbus, I do have a spare ticket. I actually have a couple for today. So feel free to reach out. And if you just want to catch up for something to eat or drink as well in Columbus, I will be there Friday, Saturday for sure, possibly Sunday.
Okay. So wait, I have so many questions. I know you are tight with Gary V, but this is Gary V's team that plays in a professional pickleball league. Is that what this is?
That is correct. The New Jersey Fives.
What is a professional pickleball league? What is this?
I mean, it's been around for a few years. Mark Cuban has a piece of a team.
Wow.
Like I mean, there's been some inner fighting, I think, between the top leagues in the pickleball world.
Okay.
I haven't been to an event. Apparently, there's some betting somewhere. Ohio doesn't have it on this league, but apparently they have it on another league. So we need to try and get it approved for this weekend to be able to have bets on this league. I'm not sure if it's been passed yet, but yeah, I mean, pickleball is sweeping America apparently, and there's now people that are owning professional teams, and this is a team that you can get that you could have got into at a very low price at the time, but I think now it's significantly hard to get a piece.
All right. Well, Ish is telling you that he's going to hit you up. So we got Ohio people who are going to potentially giving you a phone call or a text or a DM on Twitter. So you may have some brigade members coming in to hang out with you watching pickleball. Are there like big name players in this league, or is it just like up and coming pros that we haven't heard of? Because I've watched like Andre Agassi play pickleball. He's not in this league, is he?
No. So I believe is actual professional pickleballers that are the elite players within their sport. And being an investor in Vayner Sports, I believe within those teams, we actually have some players that we represent as well. One girl that's meant to be sort of one of the superstars that signed with, I think, Nike recently.
Okay.
Young girl I met actually in San Francisco at the Super Bowl parties and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's another sport. It's a way to get into owning professional teams. There is betting on it out there somewhere. So, let's have a look at it.
And this is not old people. These are like young.
No, these are young athletes that are like in the prime of their pickleball careers.
Okay. I'll have to look into what a pickleball career looks like and how long, because my guess is you can play pickleball for a long time because the rules of pickleball are similar to tennis, right?
Somewhat similar, yeah. I mean, it's a shortened court, and then there's something about the kitchen at the net, and you can't do certain things. And, listen, I've played paddle. I'm on the European side in Costa Rica. We play a fair bit of paddle. So I did get into that. But, it's a little bit different. And I have seen paddle betting for years, like, European championships and stuff like that. Pickleball is a little new, and as a little bit more targeted to the older people down in Florida, but they've spun this into, something bigger.
All right. Ohio, you got the professional pickleball league heading into some dignitaries showing up. Adam's going to be there coming up. What time's the flight? What time do you got to get out of here?
I think the flight's like at 1:45. It's now 11:22. So I've got like 25, 30 minutes, and then it's about a 30-minute drive. So, I've planned it well. I've got it. Okay. I found a flight that fit our schedule. Made sure this was priority.
I appreciate you on this. I won't hold you much to make sure you do make the flight. But let me ask you about the World Cup here, because Team USA has put out their roster. There's been some controversy. I'm not going to get into it here. But now that we have a Team USA roster, did that spur any extra betting? And what is your liability on Team USA at the moment heading into the World Cup?
Does the USA roster actually make a difference? Like,
be nice. Be nice. Come on.
So, I will say, USA is actually our fourth worst exposure, which again, fully expected. France is the highest. Portugal's the next one. And then South Korea at 500 to 1 or something is third in line. And then USA slots in there at fourth. But we are 70 to 1. We could make that 100, 150 and try and draw that up to a higher number, which I might just do. I might just get online sometime before then or on the 19th and say, 200 to 1 USA, come get it and make it a 7-figure exposure and sweat the whole thing out.
Yeah, I don't think you got to worry too much about Team USA winning the whole thing, but maybe getting out of the draw, maybe getting out of the pool play and getting into the knockout round. That basically is like winning the World Cup for Team USA. I mean, in terms of overall ticket count, are you seeing just the $10 better take flyers on Team USA yet? Because that feels like what you're going to get.
Well, that's the majority of them. I mean, on the France's and that, you get some $1,000, $2,000 bets, stuff like that. On the US, it's generally 5, 10, 20, 25. I think there's a $100 one there. I'm seeing a 275 one as well. But generally, it's the smaller stuff coming in. Little patriotic, I think, a little bit of play there. But I mean, there is some master money on it. So someone's played it at some point. Actually, let me have a look at that. Let's look at this real time.
These are donations. Come on.
So there is at 145 to 1, which fair enough. They could have arbed it. They could have done something of that nature. But there was some 145 to 1 taken, and there was as low as 50 to 1 taken. So,
whoa,
yeah,
okay, yeah. Unless you're arbing it or using it as a hedge position, I'm not sure really what you're after. But hey, look at weirder things have happened, and as you said, you think Team USA is going to get every whistle and every call. So they're going to try everything that they can do it to get Team USA to move on. So I guess it's not horrible.
I will say this, and there's a team that I am going to start touting Mexico if you can get hundreds taking something on them.
Hold on, wait, Adam, hold on. Hold on. You can't be coming on here and beating the shit out of the Americans and then say bet Mexico. That's going to piss people off.
Listen, I tell you, they're at home to the quarterfinals. There's a chance they could get through. They get a pretty soft quarterfinal spot, possibly, and then they're a couple of wins away from winning the whole thing. And it's Mexico. They play that game from when they drop out of the uterus. They're just So, but for them to be the same price is kind of insane, and it's probably worthwhile putting up a head-to-head who advances the furthest as well. So maybe I'll take a look at that.
Circa did that. So Circa has minus 120 on Mexico and even money on the Americans, which I thought was a little crazy because that seems like a really short price on Mexico to go farther than Team USA.
As in a good price, as in juicy price.
As in low juice. I mean, minus 120 on Mexico to go farther than the Americans, just given their talent, seems like a good play. I think if I was going to bet it, I'd bet Mexico, not America.
100%. And that's probably just them looking at the futures and go and say, oh, USA's 70, Mexico's 80, 90. Put them up, pick them. First money come in on Mexico, so they're minus 120 and even. But I'm going to dig into it a bit more. But that might be the juicy play.
Because I get the idea, though, right? Because the pool play for Team USA, you've mentioned it. It's a lot easier. They've stacked it to get Mexico, to get them out of their group. Mexico's group is more difficult than Team USA. So if they don't get out of their group and Team USA does, the Team USA bet cashes regardless of what happens in the knockout round. So I guess that would be the answer to the other side of it. But can Mexico win their group?
That I'll have to dig into. And I mean, they've got, Jesus. Yeah. They've got South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. They're clearly favorite to win that. It might even be softer than the US's group. All right, I'm definitely going to do some homework on that one on the plane to Ohio, and I might be sending out the beard to play some action into Circa there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's a market that I think will get hit and will get drilled, and obviously, this is going to be a heavy betting month in the month of June for a variety of reasons. The UFC fight happening on the White House lawn, and then you've got obviously all the World Cup games, baseball and basketball and hockey. It's going to be a great month of June from a betting perspective. But when do the casuals show up to bet the World Cup? Because I was talking to somebody today, and they were telling me in their friend group they have more people who are interested in the Final Four and betting on college basketball, and they don't care about college basketball, than they are the World Cup. And I was like, well, they're going to care once the games start. When do you think the casual person starts betting on the World Cup?
I imagine it might be June 19th when USA players. No, actually, they play the first game. So they
June 12th. June 12th.
June 12th they play Paraguay. So it may take a US game for people to kind of tune in. Ideally, USA win. Then the madness kind of comes of, oh, we can win this whole thing, and then then we go from there. But I think 4 or 5 days. I'm starting to see some and have conversations about pop up places in different cities that are hosting different parties and stuff like that. You're starting to see bars and that, pitching out beer specials or different things on this thing. So I think give it another week. I mean, we've still got basketball's just sort of wrapping up. NHL, we're into the final. There's just other things that I think are more engaging and people are on top of. And again, it's still football, soccer, or whatever we want to call it. Right. But I think give it at least another week, but rolling into the days really leading up to it.
There are so many people coming over here to watch these matches, and it depends state by state because our sports gambling laws obviously are still, at the moment, unless you're going the prediction market route, they are state by state. What happens when someone comes from the UK or someone comes from Spain or Italy or whatever and comes over? Can they bet in America? Are they allowed to? Can they get an account, or do they have to go to a counter? Like, how do they gamble here?
With great difficulty. I mean, it almost seems like the prediction markets have just landed at the perfect time, because for years the conversations with regulators was New Jersey, you have to have a social security number. So anybody going to the final from outside the US can't play within the state on the final. So where do they go? Kalshi, Polymarket, Gray, back home, VPNs, all these kind of things. So I think they've really missed an opportunity on this in making that a little bit better and easier. There is some states that you can do a passport, you do manual KYC and things like that. But I got to live and breathe that whole process. So I know it very, very well. And I know our states, what the rules are. So our team's really being ready to do those manual KYCs if needed, getting passports, getting utility bills from wherever and things like that. But yeah, I think this is the prediction markets. I can't wait to see what the numbers are on some of these games. I still have a piece of me that goes, it's kind of all bullshit and they're just trading internally on both sides just to pump up the numbers.
Yep.
But I'm curious to see, what sort of gets traded on some of these games.
Oh, they're going to report nonsense. Like, I can't wait to see the numbers. They're going to be absolutely astronomical on the World Cup. They're going to, it's not even going to be logical what they're going to report as to what they're going to do.
And it costs them nothing because there's no excise tax. There's no anything. They can have one guy in one room and another guy in the other room just trading back and forth and just breaking even. And then, Bob drunk.
And then the number goes up and say, hey, look we did $500 million in handle. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And
then the flip side of that, then you have the states, the AGs, AGA coming out and going, well, this is all revenue taxes that were lost and half of it's bullshit. And it's like, what is the real thing at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's true. And I think there's going to be, in the wake of the World Cup, because I do think you're right. I think we're going to see some ridiculous numbers being reported, that I do think more and more politicians will start to pay attention to what's going on with prediction markets and the court cases. We'll see how they go in places like here in Nevada and other states that have had pretty serious, legislation. I just think it's hysterical that the U.S. government, run by a Republican, is now attacking states in defending like a private company as much as they ever have before, going to the mat. The CFTC becoming basically the personal lobbying of the prediction markets is wild to watch. Like that in America, that is, and as someone who's gone in front of those boards, that's got to be like, what the hell is happening to have to watch the government protect a company when you guys have gone through what you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, the one that got screwed the most in all of this was Sport Trade, in my opinion. I mean, this was their marketplace. They went in as a sports books. They've announced that they're shutting down in all their states, that they have that sports book license. But yeah, I mean, if you ever had any doubts that the decks were stacked, and then you see Junior, actually a consultant on both Polymarket and Kalshi, he didn't pick a side. He just said, well, I can do it for both of yous.
And have their own, by the way, and have Trump predict as well. So they have all three.
Yeah. And then you have the old man come out this week and say he's supporting it. States get out of the way. They went after Minnesota and all these things. I mean, they've just kind of shown a spotlight on this is what's happened for decades and probably 100 years and whatnot. And everyone, it's amazing how many people just still believe in that side of the aisle. And it's like, I mean, I
It's
can't help that.
corruption. It's corruption right out in front. And it's like, we don't think you're going to care. And so far, they're right. I mean, people have just gone like, is it betting? Yeah. Is it sports gambling? Sure. What do you want to do about it? I don't know. Like, there's no real answer to and then you guys who have gone through the whole regulatory process, it's like, hey, sorry.
100%. But I do believe there's a place for it if they can get it right. It goes back to, when I first got over this side of the world 25, 26 years ago, it was like, why aren't they legalizing this and taxing it? Well, they did 18 years later, and there's still some states missing. There's room for all of it, but they ultimately need to work out how to, the states, the federal part of it, the, taxes. And I know you get it, you make money on it, you pay income tax, and there's other aspects to it and things like that. But there's a balance somewhere. I just don't know if the people are there to be able to find it.
All right, let's talk about tonight a little bit. San Antonio at home against the Thunder. The Western Conference final could end tonight. If the Thunder win, they'll move on to take on the New York Knicks. This has the East Coast buzzing like crazy because the Knicks haven't been in the finals since 1999. I graduated college in 1999. It's been a long time ago. What's the action for tonight? Where are the Masters? It feels like people will take the Thunder tonight, but I like the Spurs. Where's the handle? Where's the money going?
So if you believe in the master money, the series is done tonight. We're looking at 97% of the master money's on the Thunder.
Oh.
But on the flip side, close to 80% of the rec money's on the Spurs, and on the money line, closer to 90% of the rec money's on the Spurs there as well. So,
okay, so it's public pros versus Joes on this. If it's Knicks against the Thunder, does it matter who wins for you guys? Is there any big red number?
No. On both, actually, it's all right now. But on the NBA, we had good positive equity on both of these. Knicks was much better than the Cavs on the other side, although the series didn't work out that way. But at this point, it'll be worth more on the series and the games than it is on the actual futures.
Okay, interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I'm really curious because obviously, jersey wise, have you guys taken over Prime yet? I mean, how does that work?
So we're trying to get that done today or tomorrow. It's been a week ago, 8 days ago. The plan was approved by the courts, whatever they do. Now there's juggling balls of regulators, which is kind of been a lot more challenging than I'd hoped for. We'll know more within the next 24 hours, but ideally we move to a new skin, which doesn't affect players and that come Monday. But we're really waiting for the green light from DGE right now.
Because I'm assuming the Knicks winning is not a good thing in New Jersey. Just a guess.
No, again, it wasn't really, a lot of bets there, really. I mean, there was obviously, looking at it, I don't think we were sort of top odds at the beginning of the year. There's enough places to shop around. It seems like they were somewhat protected throughout the season. So it's not a bad thing. And overall, again, collectively, they're a small winner, and the other side of it, which everyone just says, whoever comes from the West will just walk over the East.
Yeah.
So we're looking at those numbers as what we're collecting anyway.
Interesting. Have you seen any extra action with the Vegas Golden Knights getting back to the Cup Finals? Here in town, obviously, is buzzing, and there's a lot of hate betting going on against the Golden Knights. What do you do? What can you do at all in hockey? Is there anything that works out well for you? Any extra action that you want to see happen, or has it been kind of a lower, smaller bet event?
It's a smaller bet event, but with them knocking out Colorado was great result. Carolina looking like knocking out the Canadians. They were our only small loser left. So right now we've definitely got one winner in the final. The favorite in the other series is a winner for us as well. Again, it's not big volume or big sweating, but it's always nice to go in there with like zero exposure on the futures. Just put them in your pocket and move on to the series and the games.
I wonder, as here, do we see more because people are going to bet the World Cup to kind of spill over and you guys see more action hockey wise in either Arizona or a different marketplace hockey wise, just because I don't think the cup final is going to, if it's Carolina against Vegas, the interest in America is going to be like tiny. Like people aren't going to be jumping up and down to go and watch it. So I wonder if the World Cup helps that a little bit and people do want to end up betting it more often than not. But yeah, here in town, everyone's betting Vegas like they've already won the thing. So like it'll be, there's a big liability in Vegas right now about from Golden Knight fans going and saying that they're going to beat whoever is on the other side. So there could be some spillover. All right, my friend.
Yeah, a lot of those Vegas fans, they're still sitting on profits. They've already won one. They've only been in there for a few years. I mean, they're on profits right now. So they're not digging into their own pocket. They're still digging into the bookies' pockets from years gone by.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up on that. So, all right, I want to get you out of here so you don't miss your flight. Travel safe. The brigade's going to hit you up in Ohio. Enjoy the pickleball. I don't know what you do when you watch pickleball. Do you cheer? Do you drink? I guess you just hang out and have a good time. So enjoy the event. Say hi to Gary V for me, and we'll catch up with you next week. All right.
And I'll let you know what we do at pickleball next week.
Sounds good.
Years later.
He is Adam Bjorn joining us here every Thursday on Pushing the Odds with Matt Perrault, being brought to you by our friends at Betcris Arizona. So while we were talking to Adam, I kind of screwed up, and this is to show you guys like where my brain is. We booked this like 2 weeks ago that Kenny Mayne was coming on the show today. And normally I make a really big deal of that when we have Kenny Mayne coming on the show today. And so Kenny's coming on because he is going to officially launch a book, Love Kenny collection. It launched on May 11th, looking towards Father's Day. These are cards that Kenny it's a collection of cards that Kenny Mayne has gone ahead and penned on this. So I'm going to read you the press release, and then Kenny's going to jump in at some point in the next couple of minutes. And that's totally on me. Because I normally would really promote the hell out of this, and I would love to talk to Kenny Mayne, and I just totally spaced. We booked this a week ago, and I just got a text message and said, "Hey, Matt, where's Kenny Mayne?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, sorry." So, he and Love Pop have come together to announce the launch of Love Kenny, a new line of greeting cards written by Kenny Mayne, known for his signature wit, offbeat humor, and refreshingly human perspective on life. It offers consumers new and meaningful and unexpected funny ways to say what matters. As you guys know who Kenny Mayne is, I'll read you Kenny Mayne's whole entire bio. The collection reimagines what your typical greeting card can be, moving beyond predictable sentiments to deliver messages that are honest, funny, and deeply relatable. Whether you're celebrating a milestone, a holiday, navigating life's awkward moments, or simply reaching out to say, "I'm thinking of you," each card captures Mayne's distinct ability to blend humor and authenticity, combined with Love Pop's intricate paper engineering and eye-catching designs. I think Love Pop was on... I think Love Pop was on Shark Tank. I think that's where I know that from, is on Shark Tank. But the result is the product that surprises, delights, and connects on a more personal level. This is very cool. Love Pop on a mission to create 1 billion magical moments, with 47 million total magical moments created to date. Founded by naval architects, Love Pop combines art and engineering to stretch the bounds of imagination to create magical cards and gifts that bring people together. Whether you're celebrating a holiday, an important milestone, or an everyday moment, Love Pop's thousands of unique designs make it easy to share love with meaning, creativity, and fun. For more information, you go to lovepop.com. So at some point in the next couple of minutes, we're going to talk to Kenny Mayne, who I really am going to apologize for, because this is a pretty shitty thing for me, because Kenny has been so good to me. This show, I mean, you guys who are part of the brigade, you know what Kenny Mayne helped to do for Dave before Dave went into surgery. So, I should 100% have been on board on this, and should have been way better than what I have been on this to promote this. So this is not usual for me, But as I told you guys when I announced earlier this week, it's been an absolute shit show in my life for the last couple of weeks. So things have been going crazy. And he's been kind enough to jump on in. He is the man himself, the one Mr. Kenny Mayne. How are you, sir? I apologize for this. This is my bad. I'm so sorry.
We're here. It all worked out. I thought I'd go outdoors for the nice setting, but now we got a guy like hacking down a tree in the background. But, we'll just go with the natural environment.
Well, listen, I haven't talked to you. I've texted with you, but I haven't talked to you since Dave's passing. And we played the video that you helped to create. It was such a moving tribute to Dave and the people that you connected to be a part of that. I want to publicly thank you for doing that. And it meant so much to all of us. It's meant so much to his family, for all of that. So thank you for what you have done.
I'm glad it worked the way it worked. It shows I have good friends, right? I don't think anybody said no. People who like, hey, sure, I'll do this. And a lot of heartfelt things. Neil Everett was in there. Yeah. I'm sorry for the loss.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way we all wanted it to. But right in kind of dovetailing into this, tell me about this Love Pop collaboration that you are doing, because I remember watching you doing stand-up here in Vegas, and you kind of talked about different things you wanted to dabble and get involved with. How did greeting cards come to be?
Desperation, really. We just, it's weird. It's strangely, it's something I've wanted to do for like 10 years, because it started with a real story. I was at my niece's birthday party. She was 1. We didn't have a card, and I was like, she's 1. What is a card? What are we doing? So I just made up a card, and it said, "You are 1," and then you open it up and it said, "You cannot read." And that is the genesis of the whole thing. So I won't bore you with all the details, but I tried it several different times, just for a bunch of different reasons. It never got off the ground the way I wanted it to. And then my friend Stephen Panis knew these guys at a place called Love Pop, and they're quite popular. I think they're number 4 in the country in sales. And their cards, as the name suggests, pop up. So, it's those grandiose kind, a big tree shows up, and they're, like a little piece of art. It's funny, people often will keep cards, whether they're birthday, Christmas, they're somewhere prominent, then there's a little less prominent, then I don't want to throw them away, then we throw them away, right? They go through those stages. These kind of cards, I think people will leave out a little more. They liked my 1-year-old joke and said, "What else you got?" So, we got a little of everything. We got children's birthdays. We got relationship cards. We got Father's Day, cards from pets. I got a card. This is real life, because, the women are all playing Mahjong now, apparently. And I sent up a card that says, "Congratulations on getting invited to the Mahjong game. I thought they hated you." So they're sort of the anti-card in most cases, but not all cases, because I actually, believe it or not, have a sentimental streak. And certainly wrote some things, that are a little more heartfelt, but I'd say 80% is supposed to be like the first one, the 1-year-old who can't read.
Well, I think you've got the audience, because as our audience is saying, they're never going to buy a Hallmark card again. They're just going to buy Kenny Mayne Love Pop cards.
That's right. Lovepop.com.
So go buy.
There's a search bar at the top, like most sites, right? And you just put in Love Kenny.
Love Kenny to go ahead and
case
get
sensitive, this. Not case sensitive. Just Love Kenny. There's a comma there, really, but don't worry about it. Just get my name in there, and then you'll see. And you click on it. They mail them. Like, it's to order, right? They're not stocking a million of these things. They're going to see how many people click, and hopefully we do well.
How many different iterations of cards did you create before you settled on the ones that were going to be for sale? Like, were you just like a madman, just like creating it, or like you knew there was a certain tone you wanted to hit with each topic?
Yeah, I knew the ones I already liked. Like, I'll die on the hill of "You Can't Read" card.
That's tremendous.
I don't know how that wouldn't be purchased for every birthday party going forward.
Right.
It's really the parents, they're just trying to win the room, right? No, the kid can't read. So the card is for the parents in the first place, right? Let's just, we have one that says, "You got this card so your parents would write us a thank you note."
Beautiful.
And then they will write the note now. I don't remember my 3rd birthday. You don't remember the last sentence. It's, it's like, not yelling at the kids. It's more just kind of having a laugh at how dumb it is that we give birthday cards to 2- and 3-year-olds. Now, right behind me is our backyard. We're actually shooting a video tomorrow with a whole bunch of little 2- and 3-year-olds. We're going to do like a focus group. and I'm going to run these jokes by the 2 and 3-year-olds, see what happens. So,
oh, that's good. Where is that going to air? Is that going to be on lovepop.com or on their socials?
It'll be there, and social media and this and there. But yeah, just that way.
I mean, I think everybody remembers the amazing work you would do with ESPN on these topics. So you with kids, I think everybody's going to have some fun.
Well, honestly, it's not a heck of a lot different than making up a good line for a home run or a dunk, or the stuff that we used to do, right? Everybody had their little arsenal of, I'm going to say this or that when this or that happens. Yeah. And then obviously you came up with stuff on the fly as well. So it's fun. But to answer the earlier, I think I knocked out like 100 different sentiments. Some were a little repetitive. I think they narrowed it to the 70s or 80s. So there's some, you got the 2-year-old who can't read and the 1-year-old, then we do a different move for, some of the other notes. And I like the notion, we have pets. We have the greatest new dog in the world. If you watch my Instagram, he's on there all the time, named Benson. He weighs like 130. I'm shocked he's not barking like a madman to get out here because he always wants to be near us.
Yeah.
We want to feature him at some point, like his picture and the sentiment is from Benson, right? Or your dog. What else did we do? We did some Father's Day.
Nice.
Our daughter talked me into relationship cards.
Okay. Breakup cards or like
the young kids have names for the different stages, right?
Yes.
Situationship.
Yes.
What's the other one? Convenient ships. I don't know. There's all these different. So it's sort of like, don't get it twisted, but I like you. There's one. Or people are talking about us. They need to stop being weird. Whatever. Like,
right.
I think they date differently than maybe we did, or
definitely.
And
yes.
And they also all want to be there for the big events, like somebody's getting engaged. Everybody already knows. It's not even a surprise. It's like it's like a gender reveal of wedding rings or engagement rings.
Engagement rings. Do you go to the other side? Like if you're talking about like 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds, are we giving like 80-year-olds and like 85-year-old birthday cards?
You know what? Thank you. We need to get there. We kind of did it.
Because grandma might not be, she might not be able to read either. Yeah. So you guys, you could repurpose it and be like, you can't read either.
We should play with, the age jokes. And people give me age jokes all the time, 7 days a week. So I should be able to deal with it myself. What was the other one? There was another weird one.
Valentine's Day? You doing like the traditional ones?
That'll be a thing, but that's a long ways away. So we missed Mother's Day. Oh, that's one, is sort of mocking Father's Day, getting the whole weekend for the U.S. Open, right? Most fathers do, while mom, A, didn't get a card, and B, had to drive me to lacrosse 3 different tournaments that weekend. That is true. It seems like every Mother's Day youth sport says, yep, we're going. We're playing all day here, both days.
Because the kids aren't out of school yet, so you're still going, right? I mean, then you get to June, it's the kids are out of school.
I think we have one referencing, Dad, you already kind of had Masters weekend, but sure, let's have another one for you, like that.
On you, that's a good point. Father's Day should be over Masters weekend, given how recluse we all become over the Masters.
And then, like I said, we actually, believe it or not, have 20% are sincere. Like just think I like your way. I think that's one I wrote. Just a simple, I like you. And same thing for Father's Day. Some were a little more sentimental, some were smart ass.
So you came up with the lines. Love Pop came up with the design. So like when you open it, it pops up, right? That's the design.
For now, we're repurposing art that they already made, right? They just had a bunch of art that kind of fit my different categories. So they just took some time and they ran it by me. Do you like this one with this one? And hopefully it goes well enough that we might make some, unique to this form art. But right now it doesn't matter. It's already kind of a cool thing. Something happens, there's a big celebration, and then there's a little pull out, like the old money cards, where there's a slot. So here you pull out my new sentiment that matches whatever their art was, because heretofore they have that blank card for people to write their own whatever they want to write, right? But the rest of the card's already built. In my case, the card will be pretty blank except for the art, and then you pull out my joke.
Oh, I love it. That's really, really cool. So lovepop.com, go to the search bar, type in Love Kenny, and you guys can go ahead and search this and get really cool, unique stuff for Father's Day and what's going to come on. What's next for you? I mean, you've become, every time we talk to you, you're doing something new. Last time you were on the show was for the stand-up you were going to be doing here in Las Vegas. Now you're doing greeting cards. What's next for Kenny Mayne?
I don't know. At 5 o'clock, I have a meeting, so I could Something
Oh.
else could happen. Yeah, I don't know if that's
Okay.
going to happen, but why not? No, I was telling the guys from All the Smoke. They have a great little
Yep.
show.
Oh yeah.
I
Little
said,
show. Yeah.
I
Little.
haven't thought about it. It just happened that I end up doing a whole bunch of miscellaneous things. Ultimately, like through my life, I was a strawberry picker. I worked at a fruit stand. I got fired quickly. I didn't handle the fruit well. I was a garbage man. I made garbage cans. I sold prepaid legal insurance. I sold MCI for long distance sales. Worked at ESPN. Did everything there: TV, radio, magazine. I've done newspaper. Now I've done a podcast or two. Actually, I'm in my second one now with Cooper Manning and Kevin from The Office.
Oh wow.
Brian Baumgartner. It's called We Need a Fourth.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
As the name implies, we interview somebody about their love of golf and all the golf stuff, right? We've had comedians, we've had real golfers, we've had a great list of people. Just did Jermaine Kearse, the old Seahawk Super Bowl champion. He loves golf. He's all in on it now. So we're doing that. What else am I doing? I've left out a couple other jobs. I know I did something else that was unusual. I think I was a bus
stand-up's unusual. I mean,
well, the stand-up thing, I haven't quite given up on. Not trying to be Nate Bargatze. It was a specific show. It was a movie called Wiffle Ball, and a stand-up act that married to showing the movie. At least that was my concept. And we've done it 4, 5, 6 times. I'm still not done doing it. I'm still hoping somebody sees it and says, let's perfect it and make that whole thing be a show. That's an hour TV show. We'll keep asking till the last guy says no. We haven't really tried hard enough to get all the no's that we might end up getting, but you just need one yes.
Yeah, it's a really cool. I loved it when we saw it, and the footage is unbelievable. Just because I'm 49, and
I was going to say you saw the worst one of the ones I've done because you saw the first one, right?
Okay.
So, right, or did you go to the? Wait, were you April or June?
I can't remember. It was Vegas.
February or June. Was it at Kimmel's place or the restaurant?
Kimmel. It was at Kimmel's place.
That was the first one. Gretchen, God love her. She's my wife and best friend and coach. And
met her. Yep, she's awesome.
She's everything, and she helped me shape it. She's very like you need to tighten that up. She's doing that kind of stuff. Yep. But the night of that show at Kimmel's, this is way back over a year ago. I'd never done it, and I was confident in the movie. We've shown the movie and usually plays well. She was so nervous. She was treating me like I was a 4-year-old who had a line in a school play or something. But each time I've done it, I've gotten looser. She's gotten looser. It's just, I got the whole show in my head now. Like I don't need notes or anything. It's kind of pushed by the pictures behind me, right? Like there'll be a picture of me at age 5 and I know what to say. But it's fun doing it. Even if it goes nowhere, it's been a blast doing it. It took a little nerve doing it the first time, but after that, I wasn't really that scared.
No, it was awesome. I thought it was a great show, and I thought the video is so unique because I'm 49, so watching the old TV stuff, the equipment that you guys were using was so interesting, and the whole Wiffle Ball concept.
It's funny you say that because that was kind of a good part of the story. Now I knew that worst case, I had friends at ESPN. I'm sure they have that technology there still. They have every tape machine ever, right? Because people don't know it was film back in the old days. Local news was shot literally on film. They had to develop the film. They had to match the sound. My first day in TV in Seattle, right out of college, was the last day they shot film. The first day they were on something called 3/4 inch tape. So it looks like a big cassette, a big rectangle. And then they got rid of that. They went to Beta SP. And that's the tape that we shot Griffey on this story called Wiffle Ball. But I hadn't tried to look at that tape in 34 years. It's been in 7 basements and packing vans. And so I didn't know what was on the tape. I didn't know, was it the raw material? Was it the finished story? Was it a mistake? And I found a guy in Seattle I thought would have a shot at having the right machinery. And that's kind of part of the storytelling. Like we need to know what's on the tape. And so the big reveal is what happened that day. And we kind of play it out from there.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Wiffle Ball, guys can go watch Wiffle Ball. It's a phenomenal movie. And if you're my age, you're like, wow, look at Griffey. He looks so young, and like it's back in Seattle.
It was amazing, that shot where he turns back to the camera. It was just like, quintessential young Ken Griffey. Because I saw him. I was just talking about this. I was working at that station in Seattle. Now I'm on the air. A couple years 3 years out of school, and Griffey's playing at Bellingham A ball, rookie ball, and then I think it was 1 year at that, and then he moved up, and then the next year they just couldn't deny him. Like,
Yeah.
how you not bringing him up?
He was tremendous. I'm going to ask you this, and then I'll let you go. You being a Seattle guy, I'm assuming you're a Seahawk fan, right?
Absolutely.
Where did you watch the Super Bowl? You live in Connecticut. You're in enemy territory, kind of, because Connecticut is only partially New England. We don't fully take Connecticut as being part of New England. But where did you watch the Super Bowl? Because obviously you're around Patriot fans.
I was in San Francisco because I went out there and played in a flag football game the day before with a bunch of military vets and NFL vets. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And I did it sort of as an advertisement for the foundation that we have for veterans. It's called Run Freely, runfreely.org.
Oh, I forgot about yeah.
So I wrecked my ankle my junior year at Vegas, came back and played my senior year. Then some decades went by and ankle got worse and worse. Long story, I finally ran into this guy in Gig Harbor, Washington named Ryan Blanc, and he makes this crazy device. You stick your leg in it and then you stick it all in your shoe. Doesn't fix anything, but I just play golf. I have no pain at all. I moved my ankles great today. If I had just worn like regular golf shoes or whatever, I'd be limping around for 3 days. So we've helped a bunch of people and we're going to continue to do so. So anyway, I went to play in that flag game where I hurt my knee instead of my ankle. Some idiot, I think he tripped. He ran into me toward the end of the game and, hyperextended it one way, left way, and then back to the right. And it was just a sprain. Thank goodness. No surgery or anything like that. I'm just kind of finally feeling normal again a few months later. But I didn't, even if I had a ticket, I wouldn't have gone.
Okay.
Because now I can't even walk. I took an Uber to go 1 block up the San Francisco Nob Hill because it was bad. It hurt a lot. Then I had to fly home.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, I've been playing in those games for a bunch of years. We didn't do it for a couple of years. Then we started up again. Hopefully it gets a little bigger. It's a great, fun game. It's just a flag game, but you get big name ex-NFL guys, and you get all the veterans out there, and it serves its purpose. I was really hoping to ride the coattails of Kevin from The Office, my friend Brian Baumgartner, because he had that big for Ramp, was it, right?
Okay.
Super Bowl spectacular. He was throwing a party, and he was in a Super Bowl commercial. I never met up with him, but I think I would have said no, even if I had. I wasn't moving very fast that day. Very happy with the Seahawks win. Very happy with Sam Darnold, how he came through it all. I actually got to shoot a fun bit. I'll send it to you. For the Seattle Sports Award show, I interviewed him, and the premise was that the media had been unfair. They're always bringing up the Jets and the Carolina and all that. And then I can't help myself, and I start doing the same thing, like typical media, right? So, but he had a great year, great Super Bowl. I love our receiving team. I like the new coach. Coach is like Mike got people to believe immediately, right? A couple years he's in the Super Bowl. So I think
the Patriots.
They'll be good again.
Smoke the Patriots. Should be a fun year. Patriots 9-9, September 9th. We get a little rematch, chance for revenge coming up as we'll start the upcoming NFL season. Lovepop.com. Go and search Love Kenny to go check out this new line of greeting cards that Kenny has coming out. Listen, thank you for the time. I hope we talk down the line. I really appreciate you doing the show. My bad on all that today. That won't happen again. I apologize, but thank you for doing the show.
We'll see you down the way. Thanks for having me.
That is Kenny Mayne joining us here on Pushing the Odds with Matt Perrault here on a very busy day. And again, that's on me. It never happens. I never forget when I book guests, especially guys like Kenny, who's been such a huge part of the last year and a half story of this show from BVB into PTO. So apologies to Kenny for doing that. Thank you, Sonic, for putting that up. Lovepop.com to go and check out all that. On that. When is Shohei coming on? I don't know, but if I probably would forget that Shohei Ohtani was coming on. Although it was a little bit totally like I didn't mean to put the backwards, like this is the cat made famous by Griffey. So like I didn't mean to pull that out. That was just natural. So my subconscious was telling me that you're going to talk to Kenny Mayne because Kenny Mayne is famous for for a lot of things. But the last time I saw Kenny was for his wiffle ball stand-up at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club here in Vegas. So that was sort of my subconscious saying like, hey, by the way, you're supposed to have somebody on the air, moron, like do something about it. So apologies to Kenny for that, but I'm glad we got him on. That was great. We are way behind. What happened last night? All right, we're going to go kind of quick through all this stuff, but Carolina blanking the Montreal Canadiens 4-0 last night. They're 1 win away from taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup. This series is over. That's why I bet it. I bet the over. That didn't hit, but it was easy. Carolina walk in the park. I don't know what's going on with Montreal. It's got to be so maddening to be a Canadiens fan to watch. The Canadiens have 43 shots in nearly 200 minutes of game time over the last 3 games. That's 13 shots per 60 minutes. That's the fewest shots per 60 by any team over a 3-game span, reg or postseason, since shots were first tracked back in 1955. Like, what the hell is this? I mean, is this like figure skating? Are you trying to win? Are you trying to score? You cannot win a hockey game unless you shoot the puck at the net. It's like they're afraid to do it. Just shoot the puck, like at any angle, at any spot, to shoot the damn puck. And they just won't do it. Historically bad. Never seen it before, these Canadians, as to what they're doing. It's no shock that they are that far down, that they got beat 4-0 last night and got shut out, because Anderson did nothing in net. He was like taking a lounge chair out and going like, hey, anybody want a Mai Tai? Like, what in the holy heck was that? That was pathetic last night out of Montreal. What was not pathetic was Shohei. Oh, my goodness. Ohtani watch. Another leadoff home run for Shohei Ohtani, but this time he goes to the mound, and this dude was throwing a no-hitter. Like, are you kidding me? What are we doing? This is ridiculous by Ohtani. He had 7 strikeouts through 99 pitches, 6 innings, no hits. Like, wait, what? First pitcher in the MLB to have a home run hit and pitched 6 innings of hitless baseball. He's the first Dodger to pitch 6 innings of hitless baseball since Don Drysdale did it back in 1959. The leadoff home run by Ohtani, combined with going 6 and not allowing a single hit, has never been done before in Major League Baseball. That is the first time we've ever seen a pitcher lead off a game with a home run and then dominate the way Ohtani did it. Like, every single time this guy takes the field, he's doing things we have never seen before. Now, you could say, well, wait, Matt, hold on. A pitcher never leads off. That's why it's never happened before, because a pitcher's never hitting leadoff. That's fine. Okay, I'll give you that. But pitchers don't hit home runs, although they do at times, right? I mean, it's been a while, but it does happen from time to time. A pitcher will run into one, because pitchers, kids, they used to bat. Back in the day, the National League didn't have the DH, so pitchers used to bat. So throwing 6 scoreless and hitting a home run during the game hasn't happened for a long time. It happened last night. But the leadoff home run has never happened before. That was history for Shohei Ohtani. Every single time. This is just one of those situations. Leadoff home run and then throwing 6 hitless. No player in Major League Baseball in the modern era has accomplished both feats over his entire career, by the way. A career. Forget same game. A career has never seen a leadoff home run and 6 scoreless, 6 hitless innings by a pitcher. Never been happening. Because, well, again, pitchers don't hit leadoff. Pitchers used to bat 9th, not 1st. That's the difference with Shohei Ohtani. It's unbleeping believable. Let's jump down the rabbit hole for Game 6 tonight. The Rabbit Hole being brought to you by our friends at the Rabbit app. Go and download the Rabbit app, Google Play, Apple Store. Challenge your friends, not the house. If you have a big feel, you heard the master money is on the Thunder, okay? So if you like the Thunder big, you can go bet -7, -8, -10 in alt spread. Shop it on Rabbit, and you may get someone to bite on it at +240 to +300, whatever price you want to put out there. You customize the line. You customize what you're going to bet in the marketplace. You will never be limited. You will never be banned for doing so. And the money gets put up ahead of time. So there's no awkward Venmos. It's your bet versus a real person's bet on Rabbit. Challenge your friends, not the house, by creating and sharing custom sports picks on Rabbit, Google Play, and Apple Store, and use the code Rabbit5 when you sign up for 5 free Rabbit Cash to use the Rabbit app for free for the first time. Tonight, Game 6, Spurs laying 3.5 against the Thunder. 95, Adam said, 95% of the master money is on the Thunder. Damn it. I'm not. The total is 219.5. Home favorites after double-digit losses in the playoffs have gone 35-14-1 against the number over the last 23 seasons. That is a trend that I am following. Why? Because I think Wembanyama is going to have a ridiculous night tonight. I think Wemby is going to be awesome tonight. And I believe that this Spurs team is going to force it back to OKC for a Game 7 where the Thunder will win. However, the Thunder are 4-2 straight up in road closeout games over the last 3 seasons. But they're just 1-5 against the number. Now, if they win tonight, they cover. So the number, the ATS number doesn't matter for tonight, because if the straight up number goes to 5-2, they cover. They're dogs. Almost always during this latest iteration of the Thunder, they have been favorites. So that's why the 1-5 ATS doesn't really matter, because they're dogs. It's very, very infrequent. We talked about it earlier in the series where the Thunder were dogs snapping a 33-game streak in which they had been favorites in the NBA playoffs. So for them to be a dog tonight, you kick out the ATS and look at the straight up, and that's why you're seeing the money come in on the Thunder. I get the master money. I do. I think it makes a lot of sense. So, it's not, I'm not angry about people betting OKC. I'm just going the other way. I think the Spurs are going to have an epic night tonight. I think Wemby has a huge game tonight, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and take the Spurs to force it back. The Thunder are winning the series. I do not believe the Thunder will lose the series at home in a Game 7, but I do think we're going 7. The NBA needs it to go 7, to be quite honest. Okay. It's Thursday. Game 7 would be Saturday, I believe, right? Saturday night. And then the NBA finals will start next week. So the Knicks are just sitting there chilling and waiting and chilling and getting, basking in the love of New York City, and all Knicks fans going bonkers because their team is in the NBA finals. Thunder Knicks. I don't think the Knicks can beat the Thunder. Thunder Spurs. Okay, I'll listen to that. I think there's a potential there. So if you're a Knicks fan, you're pulling for the Spurs tonight. I do think we go 7, but I don't think the Spurs win the series. I am laying the 3.5 tonight, though, with the Spurs. News of the industry. Big news here in Vegas. Caesars was sold this morning to Tillman Fertitta, not the Fertitta brothers who own the UFC. Tillman Fertitta, who owns the Rockets, who owns the Landry seafood empire, and a guy who now owns a ton of property. And I mean a ton of property and casino. He becomes the biggest player in Las Vegas by far when it comes to where we are, controlling the strip, controlling property. He already owned the Golden Nugget, and now he owns Caesars. It is a cash deal, $31 in cash per share, representing a 49% premium to the unaffected share price. I'm not smart enough to really know how big of a deal that is, except that it's an all-cash transaction valued at approximately $17.6 billion. That's a B, billion, assuming the approximate $11.9 billion of the debt that Caesars currently has, which has been a major talking point about the overall health of this city for the last 2 years. As the tourist dollar started to decline, the debt that Caesars was paying per day on the loans was starting to become extremely cumbersome for Caesars. This is the second biggest employer here in the state of Nevada. Now, Tillman Fertitta obviously is a guy with his family and the other brothers, his cousins. Like these are people who understand the city. So this is not a bad deal. But if this deal gets approved by the government, one man will control 60 casino resorts, the Houston Rockets, and sports betting under the William Hill brand and the Westgate Superbook. His cousins own stations and the UFC. The Fertitta family becomes the biggest, most powerful family in Nevada. Now, there are some people that remember what life was like when the mafia controlled Las Vegas. And there are some people who believe that Las Vegas was way better when the mafia controlled Las Vegas. They understood customer relations. They understood high rollers. They understood people and interpersonal communication. They weren't about robots serving you drinks, and they weren't about cutting people off and kicking them out when they were winning. They were about the experience. And there are some people who are really applauding this move, that Caesars has a huge opportunity here with Fertitta's leadership to come in and rework the strip. Because if you are in Vegas at any time in the next 6 months, the monstrosity being built by the Seminole tribe is impossible to ignore. The Hard Rock is going to be a massive deal. And everyone, I think everyone is going to be wanting to check it out because it looks awesome. It's a huge piece of property with a ton of really cool things on it. So my big question is, what happens to the Westgate Super Contest? Because Westgate selling to Caesars, Caesars being sold to the Fertittas, what does this mean now? Does Tillman Fertitta want to energize that or cut it? Does the Westgate Superbook become a flagship for William Hill? And it looks, but William Hill used to have a really cool, and you heard it when we talked to Tom from VegasFootballProxy.com, the official proxy service of PTO, that there used to be really cool college football contest that William Hill ran until Caesars bought William Hill and they killed it. So now Caesars buying the Westgate, and the Westgate now being owned by the Fertittas, and Tillman Fertitta, does he kill it? Because that would suck. That contest has so much history. It's just so cool. Now, Circa's contest, obviously way, way bigger, right? I mean, the guarantee for the Circa contest, there is no competition at the moment as to what's going on, right? This is just, there's no competition. Circa Sports is dominated. So it would be, I don't think it's a horrible idea to say, hey, you know what? We're not even going to compete with this. Or we are going to compete with this, and we're going to actually put some money into it, and we're going to push it. So I'll be really curious. Yeah, 17 billion. Billion. So I'll be curious to see what happens in the wake of this. How much of a change, how much overlap is there going to be? Again, Tillman Fertitta is a brilliant businessman. He is the ambassador to Italy. Like he has a lot of jobs. And now he's going to be really the most powerful casino magnate in the country, as long as he gets approved. Now, he's in the administration, so my guess is he already knows he's going to get approved by the regulators for him to own this and own this much. But Caesars Palace and all the other Caesars property on the Strip, I mean, it's MGM and Caesars, and now having an ownership, a guy like Tillman Fertitta to own Caesars, you better believe the restaurants are going to change, right? I mean, his empire for restaurants are going to be put into Caesars, and some of them are good, some of them aren't, some of them are but some of them are great. And so he's got that. The Rockets, I mean, he was thought to be a guy that might want to buy the NBA team. I don't think that will be allowed now. He won't be an owner of the NBA team, but he'll be in the NBA. So when the Rockets come to Vegas and whatnot, so that would be huge. So he has so many things. 60 properties across the country, 60 being controlled by one person is wild. Is it a monopoly? I don't know if it's a monopoly, but it's pretty damn close to one. I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of power to be wielded by one person, but big news here in Las Vegas for sure. If you guys are watching live, don't move. Bonus time with Just the Picks coming up. If you guys are with us on the Sports Grid replay, thank you for being here. Thank you to Kenny Mayne for coming in. Thank you to Adam Bjorn for coming in. This show has been awesome, but more to come in bonus time. Stick around. Yeah, I forgot about that. They bought the Connecticut Sun. You're right, AP. Yep. And they're moving it to Houston. You're right. And that pissed off a lot of people in Connecticut that they lost the Sun. That's a good point. Yep. The Houston Sun now being owned by the Fertittas. So yeah, absolutely. That's a lot. Let's make some bets for tonight. Okay, that team is horrible. The Sun are horrible, but the fans liked it though, so the team was pretty bad. Just the Picks being brought to you by the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheets. You guys can go and get the Prop Bet Cheat Sheet on the Betting Pros app or by going to bettingpros.com/NBA props for tonight's game. I like the Spurs. I'm against the Masters. I'm riding the trend, the bounce back trend. You can lose by double digits to have a chance to come and ride the home crowd. Why am I doing this? Because I like Wembanyama to have a really big game tonight. I think he goes off. I think he's pissed off about what happened after game 5. Didn't talk to the media, yell at his teammates. I think you see an epic performance out of Wemby tonight. And I think the Spurs find a way to win and force this thing back to game 7. I do think the over is a decent play. I know people who like the Thunder in the under or the Spurs in the over. It's correlated. So if you like the dog and under, you like the Spurs, favorite and over. That's how this game most likely is going to go coming up here for tonight. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Braves on the money line. This is a Braves hat, in case you're curious. I just sat on it. The reason why I wear this hat backwards is because I mangled it. And I love this hat. It's super comfortable. So I wear it backwards because it's mangled, but I do love it. And I think it worked for the Griffey conversation, obviously, with Kenny Mayne. But you have Chris Sale going tonight, former Red Sox star, world champion with the Red Sox, back at Fenway Park. Chris Sale's ERA at home is sub 1. On the road, it's higher, but Peyton Tolley going for the Red Sox on the other side. Team has lost 2 of the 3 games he has started. Chris Sale's in the Cy Young conversation. The Red Sox can't hit anyway. Under is a good bet, but it's 7. It's so damn low that I couldn't bet the under, but just I think the Braves win the 3rd game. They win the series over the Red Sox. Boston just can't win at home. I like the Orioles on the money line against the Blue Jays here. The Orioles have had a lot of success in the first game of a series, and the Orioles have been hot taking the series from the Tampa Bay Rays. I think they'll beat the Blue Jays coming up here for tonight. As my other baseball play, take Baltimore on the money line. We hit the prop bet of the day yesterday with Pete Crow Armstrong over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's make it hopefully 2 in a row. Prop bet of the day, 1-1 on the week. I'm telling you, I'm back in Wemby. I think he has a huge game. Wembanyama over 27.5 points. In the 2 wins for the Spurs, Wemby has had 33 and 41 points. He needs 30 points minimum tonight. He has to be aggressive. He has to shoot threes. He has to get Hartenstein away from the basket. He has to be up and down in transition. He has to be the best player on the court for the Spurs coming up here for tonight. And I think he will be. If I like the Spurs to win the game, I got to like Wemby to have a big game. Wemby over 27.5 points tonight in the game where he scores 30 at least here for San Antonio, hopefully for them to go ahead and to get a W. So we'll see. Great game. Still excited to watch it. Should be fun tonight to see. I like the Spurs, but if the Thunder win, I cash the -245 ticket on the Thunder to win the Western Conference, and it hedges off of the 1 unit bet that I made for the Spurs to win the championship at 15-1, which will go down here for tonight. So either team winning is not that big of a deal, but I would like to see the Spurs win, force a game 7, and have them cover. Favorite thing about today? Technology is my favorite thing about today. 1, I can get a text message on the air while I'm doing the show for someone who has booked Kenny Mayne on the show to say, you're an asshole. You forgot to send Kenny the link. And I had to text back and say, well, I didn't send him the link because I forgot to promote it because I didn't remember that I was having Kenny Mayne on the show today. So technology works. Kenny was available. We sent him the link. Kenny jumps on. That was awesome. Costa Rica, before Adam Bjorn gets on a plane to fly to Ohio to go to a pickleball tournament. He's in Costa Rica. We go ahead and send him the link. Adam Bjorn jumps on. We have Adam Bjorn on the show today. You guys are all over the damn place inside the chat. It's awesome. This is fun. Like, it's just really exciting to see people all over the globe. We've got these new emojis. I don't see the emojis you guys do in the chat. I just see this. That's what I see. But you can go and type in PTO at the beginning, and that's PTO Connecticut hate. That's how you get to that emoji. We have like 7 or 8 emojis. We'll have more in the chat as we go. I'm learning. Okay. I'm learning all these things. I'm learning how to do all these things. Sonic is teaching me. I feel like the old guy going to like learning the internet, like my grandfather learning how to use AOL. But I'm learning how to do all these things. And so we do have those available. It's 99 cents a month to get all that. You know, it's less than $1. Although don't do it through Apple. If you watch the show on your phone, go to a desktop, because Google already takes 30% of anything that comes to the show. They already take their cut of 30%. Apple adds on another 30%. So like, you're getting taxed 2 different times before it gets to anything that I see. So 30 cents goes to Apple, and then I guess 40 cents goes to Apple, and then 30 cents goes to Google, and then the 60 cents comes to PTO, comes to us. So like, just a heads up, like, don't pay that Apple fee. Go to a desktop and avoid that. So it's 99 cents. There's 3 different tiers, but if you want to have the fun emojis and the fun different, you know, hats and stuff, and to be a member, you can go ahead and jump in on that, do that. So just, that's why the prices were different, because people were saying, wait a minute, why is it $1.47 for me? The levels essentially are 99 cents, $9.99, and then $29.99. The higher level is for hat and t-shirt people. If you want to be a part, after 3 months of being at the highest level, I will custom make a hat and a t-shirt for you and send it to you. So that's, if you want to be on that level, that's how we're going to do it. But that's just a way of keeping the show rolling. If you want to have customization for stuff, there's going to be hats at some point. Yeah. And YouTube does force you to have 3 tiers. So I had to create 3 tiers on that. And Sonic, yes, I know you're older than me, but you know way more about this shit than I do. So I very much appreciate all this. Best way to email me is the best way. AskTheBVB@gmail.com is probably the best way, because that is almost, it's not defunct, but it's not used very much. My personal email is a disaster at the moment. I'm getting like 300 emails a day. So I've been missing people's emails. I've been missing stuff on my personal. So AskTheBVB@gmail.com is the best way to send me an email for that. So and then hopefully we're going to have a new PO box for the show, so you can send stuff in, and we're trying to do a bunch of different like stuff. Like, as I mentioned, this is why I forgot about Kenny Mayne. Like, I don't forget about Kenny Mayne. It's not someone you forget about, but I forgot about Kenny Mayne because my life is going crazy at the moment. And yes, that's what it looks like when you're a new member. JPC, what's going on? Appreciate you. And you'll get a hat and all sorts of fun stuff when you join. So you guys can do that. Are you planning on doing the opening segment before the intro, like today, from now on, or every now and then? I liked it. So how did I forget Kenny Mayne to be on the show? Because my life's a disaster, Josie Myers. This is why. Because my life at the moment is, haven't you seen the announcements I've been making? I'm moving. I got just things. I've got calls with lawyers, and like, it's just a disaster at the moment. Like, it's a complete clusterfuck. All of it. Like, it's a mess. I quit UNLV because I couldn't even handle it. I was like, guys, I can't even like come to meetings. I can't plan. Like, I everything's a mess. So like, it's just this whole, like, that's how I forgot, because life's a mess. So I'm trying to get myself stabilized, I guess is the word. Thank God I have Amanda, because if I didn't, I'd be even worse. Like, she's keeping me somewhat sane on all of this, but last night I blanked. We're going to Florida in June in what now, 3 weeks, going to Florida and taking Madeline to a camp down there. And so like trying to get her situated and buying flights and setting up different things that need to be done for the trip. I just blanked, like straight up, just completely forgot. I always own my mistakes. I never try to hide them. Entirely on me on that. So trying to get things done. So that's how it happened. It's not happy. It's not a good thing, but hopefully it won't happen anytime soon. But that's why that happens. Thank you to Kenny Mayne for being flexible, and thank you to Steven who helped to book it, who is not hopefully pissed off at me for not remembering that. Thank you to Adam Bjorn. If you are in Ohio and you want to go hang with Adam at the pickleball tournament to support Gary V's pickleball team, which Adam Bjorn is a investor in Gary V's company, which means he's part owner of that pickleball team, you can go at Adam Bjorn, send him a DM, say you're in Ohio. He's got a ticket for you. You can go hang out with him and go do it. So if you want to do it, there we go. Oh, I didn't answer your question about me doing that cold open. That was from Sonic, who recommended it. Again, he's like now the director of this show. He said, why don't you try doing a cold open in between to see what happens? And then you can go ahead and do it. Because one of the things that the algorithm likes is you have the first words out of my mouth will then match the thumbnail. So you hit it with a hard hitting opinion out of the gate. Then you go into the intro. So it's countdown, cold open, into the intro, then the show starts. So yeah, that very well might be the way we do it from now on, to give a little algorithm trick. We'll see if it works. I don't know, but I liked it. If you liked it, I liked it. We'll do it again tomorrow. Hope to see you all go back here, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, for a Friday's Pushing the Odds with Matt Perrault, being presented by Betcris Arizona.